Okay, so now we're getting into kind of the meat of the music, and there's a big transition to suddenly very peppy. It's kind of like a Wizard of Oz. All of a sudden everything is, you know, super happy, whereas before it was sad and depressing. And I want that transition to be really, really big. So everybody has to be very cheesy and smiley in this part, and you know, we're skipping in and there's a lot of energy. So one note, when I divide this into sections, that means that probably they should be separate videos, or you should have sufficient separation in your video that would allow us to cut it as needed. So that is to say, if you were sad and weepy to the side of the last section, try to cut to a new video for this new section. Also, this one is a little bit more complicated, so bear with me as I explain it. There are multiple parts here. So let's say if you were born between the 1st and the 15th of your birth month, you are group A, and if you were born between the 16th and the 31st of your birth month, you're group B. Okay, so group A, you skip in on the first 8 count, and then you pose facing away from the camera, upstage, however you want to describe it, for the second 8 count when the next group walks in, or skips in. And again, we're doing this from both directions, so feel free to come in whichever direction you want. I'm not going to divide it into 4 groups for you for that. Okay, so you're skipping in starting by stepping on your downstage foot. So if you're coming in from the right side, that means you're going to be stepping on your right foot first, whichever foot is closest to the camera. Whereas if you're coming in from the left, you're stepping on your left foot first. So that means you're kicking your upstage foot first. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, or 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And for hands, you can do, you know, girly flexed hands to the side, or if that's not your jam, you can do like big jazz hands or like thumbs up. Point is, make it cheesy, make it over the top, have fun. Lots of energy. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. On one of the next 8 count for group A, you're posing facing upstage. Don't make it too big of a pose in this case, because you're only there for a little while anyway. So keep your hands down, but they can be jazz hands, you can pop the leg, whatever you want to do. But you're facing upstage. Group B, you're skipping in on the second 8 count, then same thing, you're stepping on your downstage foot first, whatever that happens to be, regarding what side you're on. And same deal, hands, big, girly, whatever you want to do. Just make sure there's a big cheesy grin on your face. If people still use this phrase, cheesing out, that's appropriate here. Yeah. So, from there, we're doing kind of like a little back and forth sway thing. Again, this is as if like somebody is in front of you. From the cameras, we're going to kind of make it that way. But the way it works is group B, you come in, so you've done 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. You're going to step on your downstage foot. Hold on, give me a sec. Yeah, So you're going to step on your downstage foot, whatever it happens to be. But if you're coming in from the left, you're going to step forward on your downstage foot and lean forward and do like a little snap thing, and then step back. So that's just kind of like a step touch thing. And then you do 3 of those. Whereas if you're coming in from the right, you're going to step back on your downstage foot first and do the same thing. So it's step touch, step touch, step touch. With a little snap, you can pretend like you're interacting with a person in front of you, laugh, whatever, make it over the top, that's the point. Group A people, so you're doing this also, but you're doing it in the opposite direction. So you've waited for group B to come in, that's where you've been posing. So if you come in from the left side and you're group A, that means you step back on your downstage foot from facing backwards. You're stepping back on your downstage foot and you're doing the same little tap thing 3 times. So for this, group A on the left side is matching group B from the right side. If that makes things clearer, might make things more confusing, I apologize. If you're in group A on the right side, that is, you've skipped in from the right. You're doing the same thing, except you're stepping on your downstage foot forward. Step tap, step tap, step tap. Again, a little snap, cheesy, smiley, laughy, whatever. Okay, so from there, we're basically turning around and doing the same step touches to the other side. The 2 A groups would end up facing each other, and the 2 B groups would end up facing out of the screen. I'll break that down for each group. We are taking those last 2 counts from the 8 count to turn. So that is to say, the reason why you only do 3 of these rather than 4 is because you're using that last 2 counts to turn to face the other direction that you would be normally, or you would go for the second round. In the second round, you're only doing 2 of those step touches. You'll see what I mean. So if you're on the left side in group B, you started by going forward first, back, forward. So then on 7/8, you're just turning around, and then you're going back the opposite direction. So regardless of what you started on, you're always going in the opposite direction the second time. So for group B, you're going back first this time. So 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're in group A on the left side, you started by going back. So 5, 6. So then you turn around 7/8, and you're stepping forward this time. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're in group A on the right side, you started by going back. No, you started by going forward, sorry. So now you're going back. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Turn around 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're in group B on the right side, you started by going back first. That means you're going forward first for the second round. So first you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and you turn around 7/8. 1, 2, 3, 4. I don't care which shoulder you turn over to get to where you need to be facing the second time. It's going to be easier for different sides, for different people, depending on where you are starting, so do what you have to do. However, it's always your downstage foot that's stepping first. So the first time, like if you're stepping backwards first, it's always your downstage foot. And then you tap with your upstage foot. And then you are stepping onto your downstage foot if you're coming from the left side also, and so on and so forth. Likewise, it's your downstage arm that's like doing snapping. You can add in your upstage arm, but mostly it's the downstage that should be doing all the work. Your upstage can either be on your hip or, like I said, it can be doing a smaller motion also. Okay, so from there, so that's, everybody's going to be facing forward after this, so everybody has finished on 4 with whatever direction you've done, and then we're just doing kind of like a little swing thing. Again, this is super cheesy. Make it as big and ridiculous as you want. Think like Hairspray, kind of ridiculous. Everybody faces downstage, and so 5, 6, your hands are up, crossed against your chest, and it's kind of just like a big swing thing. 7, 8. And everybody's head is swinging to the right side, so this is not dependent on what side you are on. At this point, the groups are gone. Everybody's doing the same thing. So if I was on the right side and I was doing 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And same thing on the left side, so regardless of where you ended, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay, so I'm going to try to put this all together. I'm probably going to get confused between the parts, but bear with me. I'll try to edit it to see how well I can do. But here I go. So this is going to be group A from the right side. Okay, that was correct. Now we're going to do group B from the right side. Okay, mostly correct. So now we're going to do group A from the left side. I think that was more or less right too. Good, we're doing well. So now I'm going to do group B from the left side. Sorry. Almost perfect. Sorry for the false start, but you get the idea. Good. Okay, so the last part of this section. We've just done this thing. The next line is call the cops. And so this is call. So on the on count 1, you're stepping out with your right foot, and you're pressing your right palm forward, so your palm is flexed and your arm is straight ahead. On 2, you're going to be grabbing your right forearm or wrist or whatever with your left hand. And on 3, you're going to be pulling it to face towards the left. And at the same time, you're going to be kind of cocking your right knee, and your whole body kind of shifts with it. So, and then you hold 4. So 1, 2, 3, hold 4. Or call the cops. That's sharp, so try to make it, crisp. But then we kind of get silly and have fun again. This part, I don't know why, but it reminds me of like Steve Martin on Saturday Night Live. We're just doing like a little booty shake and jazz hand thingy like this. Little Shop of Horrors for 5, 6, 7, 8. Then we go 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's just crossing right in front of left with your palms flexed. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So you're just kind of like pushing yourself away off your screen. And that's the end of this section. So altogether that's 1, 2, 3, hold 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So with music. Oh, and it doesn't matter what side you're on, everybody's doing this the same. So I'll do that one more time. Wasn't quite ready for it that time, but you get the idea. And that's the end of this section. So you're off camera at this point, and your next section would start a new video if you want to do the next section also.